Pan is a talented developer at a large tech company. After 6 years of dedication, he expects to receive a promotion, but the position goes to a nepotism hire. Frustrated and disillusioned, Pan decides to quit his job. In a fit of anger, he hacks into his boss's presentation, making emojis appear on the screen. Shortly after, Pan accepts a job offer from a gaming company in Singapore. He quickly joins a group of other developers who are also hired by the company. And a man from the gaming company is assigned to escort them to Singapore. Cautious by nature, Pan hacks into An's phone to learn more about him but finds nothing suspicious. What Pan doesn't know is that An has 2 phones. During a layover in Thailand, An uses the excuse of helping them with paperwork to collect their passports. He then lures the group out of the airport under the pretense of watching a strip show. Unaware of the danger, they follow into a red light district. However, not long after, a group of thugs ambushes them in an alley, knocking them out. Pan hears the commotion and tries to run but is caught by the thugs. The entire group is restrained and taken to a heavily guarded, unfamiliar location. There, they meet Lu, a man who appears polite but is extremely cruel. The developers try to resist but are beaten mercilessly. They realize this is a scam center and a prison camp, where people are forced to work in scams. Gambling, money laundering, and even online adult services. Lu tries to convince the developers to work for him, promising payment through commissions. However, when they refuse, and Pan attempts to walk away, and kicks him and threatens him by pointing a gun to his head. That night, Pan and a group of others are taken to a rundown school to sleep. While Pan is horrified by the filthy conditions, and walks in and presses a sharp spike to Pan's eye, forcing him to text his mother and let her know he has arrived safely. Meanwhile, someone who had tried to escape is locked in a dog cage. An's men drag the person out and beat him mercilessly. The next morning, the group is assembled again and forced to work. Pan asks about the man who was beaten the night before and suggests calling the police. However, the man says it's useless and advises Pan to abandon the idea. Pan is assigned to work in a call center, tricking customers into scams. Since all internet activity and messages are monitored by Lu, Pan decides to write a message for help on a small piece of cardboard ripped from a cough medicine box. Using a restroom break as an excuse, he tries to find a way to escape. However, Pan accidentally breaks a toilet while attempting to climb out through the window, causing himself to fall. At that moment, a young woman emerges from one of the restroom stalls. When she learns about Pan's escape attempt, she stops him. The woman, named Anna, works as a dealer here. Just then, An bangs on the restroom door, calling Anna back to work. Afraid his escape plan might be discovered, Pan locks the door and hides in a corner. Anna is a former professional model. However, when one of her photos is used without her permission by an adult service as part of their advertising, her agency terminates her contract. Anna is furious but has no choice but to accept it. Later, she is introduced to a gig for a promotional photoshoot, but it turns out to be a lingerie shoot. Angry, Anna walks out, but the agent follows her, insults her, and demands compensation for breaking the contract. As the argument escalates, an old friend of Anna's happens to see the scene, steps in to help, and even pays off the compensation on her behalf. This friend then introduces Anna to a job as a dealer. At first, Anna hesitates, but the high income and her trust in her friend eventually convince her to accept the offer. Little does she know, it is all a setup orchestrated to trap her. Anna packs her belongings and follows An across the border into Myanmar to start her new job. There, Lu tells the women that they will only be set free once they have reached a revenue target of 5 million yuan. One day, Anna has a stomachache and has to leave her live session to go to the restroom. When An bangs on the door, she tells him she is on her period, which makes him leave, giving Pan a chance to hide inside one of the restroom stalls. Anna exits the restroom, only for An to slap her as a performance for the CCTV cameras. Yet behind the scenes, he hands her sanitary pads and even pays her penalty fee. Inside the restroom, a water pipe bursts, making a loud noise. An hears it and comes back to investigate. Pan panics and tries to flush his escape note down the toilet, but it doesn't go down. Desperate, he ends up swallowing it just in time before An enters. Luckily, Pan manages to hide his actions before being discovered. Just then, An receives a report about a big fish falling into the scam organization's trap. The big fish is Tian, a senior university student. Tian and his girlfriend run a fan subtitle channel for movies. One day, they receive an offer to include an advertisement for an online gambling organization in their videos. Curious, Tian starts exploring gambling himself and is soon hooked. At first, the system deliberately lets him win, feeding his confidence. Tian becomes increasingly engrossed, believing that the odds of winning are in his favor. Little does he know, his wins and losses are entirely controlled by the scam organization. To gain Tian's trust, the scammers let Anna contact him, pretending to help him win by giving him insider tips. With Anna's support, the system lets Tian win a few times, which convinces him that she is on his side. Soon, Tian starts betting on football matches and even borrows money from loan sharks to keep gambling. After losing over 1 million yuan, the loan sharks show up at his house, threatening him and his family. His parents scrape together enough money to pay off the debt, but Tian refuses to stop. Determined to win back his losses, Tian keeps gambling. When his girlfriend, Yu, tries to stop him by canceling one of his bets, he becomes furious and pushes her to the ground. Desperate for money, he even steals from his grandmother to keep placing bets. Yu, at her wits' end, goes to the police. Officer Zhao explains that Anna's tips are a trick. The scammers use malware to monitor Tian's money and assets, preparing to drain him dry. Tian ignores everyone's pleas to stop and spirals deeper into his addiction. He sells his family's house and car to place one last, desperate bet. He calls Anna for help again, sending his entire fortune 8 million yuan to the scammers. Lu, the leader of the scam gang, quickly disperses the money across multiple accounts to make it untraceable. Within minutes, the funds are gone. Lu then orders Anna to block Tian's number. Tian's family rushes to his home and finds him in despair. Overcome by guilt and hopelessness, Tian attempts to jump off a building. Emergency services arrive just in time to save him, but he ends up in a vegetative state. At the scammer's base, the gang celebrates their success. Even the kidnapped workers join the party. Lu throws a birthday celebration for Pan. Tossing money in the air for everyone to grab, Pan feels deeply guilty, while Anna is excited because she believes she has earned her release. But Lu goes back on his word. He tells Anna she must either stay and earn another 20 million yuan or become his mistress. When Lu tries to assault her, Pan interrupts by knocking on the door. Pan offers to upgrade Lu's scam system, making it more efficient in cutting down on staff costs. Lu agrees and moves Pan to better living quarters. Anna confides in Pan that Lu lied to her, and Pan devises a plan for them to escape. He writes a note asking for help on a banknote and gives it to Anna. During a shopping trip, she tries to use the note, but the cashier refuses to accept it. Worse, she drops the note, and one of Lu's men notices it and grows suspicious, but Pan quickly retrieves the note before any trouble arises. Later, Pan is transferred to the cybersecurity department, and some workers are released, including Pan's friend. Pan secretly gives the note to his friend, hoping he can report the situation to the police. However, the released workers are not freed but sold to another sweatshop. On the truck, and searches their pockets and finds the banknote. He uses it at a store, where the cashier notices the message and complains. And reports it to Lu. Enraged, Lu has Pan's friend beaten and gathers everyone for questioning. Both Pan and Anna take the blame for the note. As punishment, Pan is severely beaten, and his friend has nails driven into his head. Anna is loaded onto a truck to be sold. Fearing for her life, she jumps off the truck and runs to the police. But the local police, working with the scammers, hand her back to Lu's gang, and stages a scene where Anna is stuffed into a bag and thrown into the water, filming it to show Lu. However, he pulls her out alive, gives her back her passport, and arranges for her to escape by boat. Meanwhile, Yu and Zhao meet at an anti-gambling event. Yu, still upset with Zhao for not helping Tian earlier, spots a flyer with Anna's photo on it. She recognizes Anna as the person who gave Tian the fake tips. The police investigate and track down Anna. When she returns home, they arrest her. Distrusting everyone, Anna tries to flee but is caught. Zhao convinces her to help the police. With Anna's help, the police launch a massive raid. However, by the time they reach the scammers' headquarters, the gang has already fled. It becomes clear that someone in the police force leaked the plan. Later, the police are ambushed by locals who have been bribed by the scammers. The mob, seeing the scam operation as a source of income, attacks with Molotov cocktails. The chaos only ends when a high-ranking official steps in. One of Pan's friends discovers a clue in a photo that Pan left behind. The photo contains the number 666, which leads the police to an elementary school near the scam operation. At the school, the police notice large food orders meant for adults and one serving of steamed buns. Anna guesses the bun is for Pan, who is being punished. The police can't raid the school directly, fearing the scammers will take the students hostage. Instead, they send Anna to unlock the school's security systems with her fingerprint. They also hide a message inside Pan's steamed bun to warn him. Pan receives the message and activates the fire alarm, forcing the students to evacuate. Firefighters arrive, giving the police a chance to infiltrate the building. Through the surveillance cameras, Lou sees the police surrounding the school and realizes Anna is alive. Furious, he tries to shoot him, but an acts faster and stabs him in self-defense. Wounded, Lou hands him the keys to the surveillance room and orders him to delete all the data. If the police find the evidence, their boss, the mastermind, will kill everyone. Lou begs Pan to help smuggle his daughter to safety, saying he trusts no one else. Meanwhile, the police arrest the scammers and seize Lou's phone, which contains vital evidence. Pan warns Zhao that the phone's password must be entered correctly. If they get it wrong 3 times, all the data will be erased. While Zhao attempts to unlock the phone and shoots him in the hand, creating chaos, reinforcements arrive and arrest the remaining scammers. Anna is sentenced to 2 years of probation for cooperating with the police. Pan avoids charges after proving he was forced to work for the gang. He also helps identify over 2,000 victims. However, the mastermind behind the scam remains free, continuing to operate in the shadows.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more videos like this.